Sweden, a nation globally respected for its neutrality, diplomacy, and high-tech innovation, has just made a bold move that has caught the attention of military analysts, NATO allies, and most notably, Russia. The recent unveiling of Sweden's next-generation fighter jet, an upgraded variant of the Saab JAS-39 Gripen, has shaken the dynamics of air power in Northern Europe and raised serious concerns in Moscow. Designed with the intention of countering modern aerial threats, particularly those posed by Russian aircraft like the Su-35 and Su-57, the newly enhanced Gripen has emerged not just as a cost-effective alternative to stealth giants like the F-35, but as a legitimate threat in its own right. The Gripen E, the newest version of this multi-role combat aircraft, represents a seismic leap in Swedish aerospace capability. This jet is capable of cruising at Mach 2, launching air-to-air missiles over 300 kilometers, and executing precision strikes while remaining stealthy and nearly invisible to enemy radar. Outfitted with the cutting-edge Raven ES-05 AESA radar, the Gripen can simultaneously track and engage multiple targets across all weather conditions, day or night, and in heavily contested electromagnetic environments. It also employs an advanced IRST, infrared search and track system, which allows it to passively detect enemy aircraft, especially stealth variants, without revealing its own position. In essence, it sees without being seen. This is particularly important when facing Russia's own stealth entries, like the Su-57, which, while boasting impressive specifications on paper, have faced delays, production issues, and questionable stealth effectiveness. Equally impressive is the Gripen's integration of the Meteor BVR-AAM missile, one of the most lethal air-to-air weapons currently in service. With a no-escape zone reportedly exceeding 60 kilometers and ramjet propulsion allowing it to maintain high speed through its entire flight, the Meteor enables the Gripen to strike enemies long before they can retaliate. While Russia's R-77 missile poses a credible threat, its range and guidance systems are increasingly viewed as outdated compared to the Meteor. What adds to the unease in Moscow is that all of these systems are not theoretical. The Gripen E has undergone numerous simulations and exercises with NATO allies, and has consistently shown its ability to neutralize more heavily armed opponents. A recent wargame scenario published by the Royal United Services Institute revealed a 3-to-1 kill ratio in favor of Gripen E pilots against Russian Su-35s, and even a near 1-to-1 ratio when matched with Su-57s. An astonishing outcome for a fighter that costs significantly less. This brings us to one of the most disruptive features of the Swedish Gripen program, its cost and operational efficiency. In a world where fifth-generation jets like the F-35 can cost over $110 million per unit and cost upwards of $33,000 per hour to operate, the Gripen E flies at a comparatively modest price tag of approximately $85 million per unit, with an operating cost of just around $4,700 per hour. This makes it not only affordable for countries with tighter defense budgets, but also highly sustainable in long-term operations. Furthermore, it's designed to be maintained by small ground crews, requires less logistical support, and can be deployed from roads, small airstrips, or even frozen lake beds, an incredibly valuable trait in regions like the Baltics or Arctic Circle, where permanent air bases may be compromised in a conflict scenario. Saab, the aerospace giant behind this marvel, has engineered the Gripen not merely as a fighter jet, but as part of a broader networked warfare system. It utilizes superior data links like Link 16, encrypted national data links, and AI-assisted decision-making to form a digital airwolf pack, where Gripens, drones, and support aircraft can share radar data, track enemy movements, and coordinate attacks in real time. This philosophy, focusing on agility, connectivity, and electronic dominance, sharply contrasts with Russia's emphasis on heavy airframes, brute force dogfighting, and radar-guided missile platforms. What has made this development even more urgent for Russia is the changing geopolitical landscape. With Sweden and Finland both joining NATO, Sweden's cutting-edge Gripens are no longer just a national defense tool. They're now integrated assets in NATO's northern defense strategy. This shifts the balance of power significantly in the Baltic and Arctic regions, where Russia has previously held a clear aerial advantage. The Gripen's ability to launch from virtually anywhere, roads, highways, forests, and its resilience to electronic warfare makes it extremely difficult to locate and neutralize. Combined with support from NATO satellites, AWACS systems, and ground radar, the Swedish jet essentially becomes a ghost in contested airspace, capable of hitting Russian assets before they even know it's there. For a country with a defense budget less than 1/10 of Russia's, Sweden's move is more than bold. It's revolutionary. The Gripen demonstrates that you don't need vast budgets to create world-class defense systems. With smart investments, innovation, and strategic alliances, even smaller nations can become major players. And this reality is unsettling for Russia, whose defense doctrine is built around intimidating neighbors through scale and volume. When an adversary can neutralize your best jets with a smaller, more agile fleet, that's a strategic red flag. The political implications are just as significant. Saab is now actively marketing the Gripen to Eastern European countries, South America, and parts of Asia, regions where Russia has traditionally wielded strong influence. Countries like the Czech Republic, Hungary, Brazil, and even India have shown serious interest in the Gripen due to its affordability, NATO compatibility, and performance record. With every new export deal, Russia not only loses a customer, it loses influence. For example, Brazil chose the Gripen over Russian and American alternatives after rigorous testing, and their local aerospace industry is now working closely with Saab to produce parts domestically. This has long-term consequences for Russia's defense exports, which are already under pressure due to sanctions and supply chain issues. All of this paints a new picture of modern air warfare, one where smaller, smarter systems outmaneuver larger, slower ones. The Gripen E isn't about flashy stealth or brute force weaponry. It's about surviving, adapting, and outthinking the enemy. It's about blending in, striking first, and disappearing before the response comes. It's no surprise then that Russian state media has begun airing concern-laced segments about Sweden's rearmament. The narrative is shifting from peaceful Scandinavia to militarized threat in Russian rhetoric, a clear sign that the Gripen has gotten under Moscow's skin. In the end, Sweden's decision to develop and deploy the Gripen E is not just about deterrence. It's a signal, a message to any would-be aggressors that Swedish neutrality no longer equates to passivity. With this jet, Sweden has proven that it can defend itself and its allies using cutting-edge technology, tactical wisdom, and strategic cooperation. The Gripen is more than a fighter jet. It's a symbol of a new defense philosophy, one that values smart design over showmanship and precision over power. Russia is watching, the world is watching, and the Gripen, silent and swift, is flying right through the heart of 21st century air combat, rewriting the rules as it goes.